Hey, good morning, my friends. It is time for some morning yoga. Get into something comfy, prep your mat, and we will get started. All right. It is so good to be here, and I am glad to have this morning to be with you. So we are going to start in a comfortable seated posture. Now you can prep here your seat, maybe floating up onto a bolster or maybe even seated on a chair. What's different about morning yoga than evening yoga is sometimes the energy and the way it's floating in the body, right? So generally in the evening yoga classes that we practice, we are all stirred up, the energy is in all kinds of different ways, and our goal is to flow and kind of bring everything back together in a constant rhythm, and then eventually wind down and go to sleep, right? Now, the morning classes, our goal is to come from that constant rhythm and still prep the body to have a wonderful day. So we want to start, positive. Today is the day after Thanksgiving. Perhaps we are still giving thanks for all the great moments that we had. So it is going to be a nice and easy session this morning. So we're going to start with finding that good, comfortable seat. We can draw the palms up, or we can even bring them together and bring the thumbs together here in front of you. So that can help close in the loop a little bit. Closing our eyes or softening our gaze. We can take a longer, deeper breath in, letting it go with an exhale. Again, you can draw a long, deep breath in, and exhale, let it go. Good, one more time. And then allowing the breath just to float in and out through the nose. Still feeling perhaps a little bit of that sleep sensation around the body. The body is soft and relaxed. And we're going to start with creating a little space along the neck. So lowering the chin down the chest. You can lengthen through the back of the neck. And soften here through the back so you can start to move the head around a little easy, right and left. And we'll keep working with taking a few intentional breaths as we make a little movement broader here and doing bigger half circles, where we draw the shoulders over towards the ears, drawing them back and forth. Good. We'll make our way back to a comfortable neutral position. And on the next inhale, drawing the head back up to the top. You can look up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulder blades together. Good, and then release it all back down. All right. Grounding our hands onto our lap so we can start doing little shoulder rolls forward. Wonderful, and then we can pause and reverse, doing little shoulder rolls, moving back. So nice and easy here. See if you can do one nice big shoulder roll, nice and slow, real big, taking the shoulders back, plugging in the shoulder blades. And notice here the length between our ears and the top of our shoulders. Good, next we can look over the left. Come back through center. Exhale right. Inhale center. One more time. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale center. All right, we'll drop left ear towards left shoulder, right arm out to the side. You can Draw little circles with that right arm. Notice the thumbs pointing back. Good, and then reverse. Breathe into that space along the right side of the neck. And then we'll pause here for a moment, wiggle through the fingertips, and then we'll draw that right hand back to our laps, lower or circle the chin back down to the front. Inhale, draw it back up to the top. Good. We'll draw the right ear towards the right shoulder, left arm out to the side. We know we're going to do both sides here. Notice the long diagonal here from the ear all the way down to the arm. So if you have the arm out here, see if you can lower. Good. And then we'll do little circles forward. And reverse. Breathe into the left side of the neck. Breathe into that space. We'll pause and then wiggle through the fingertips. Ooh. Even spread them out, extend. Good, and then circle the arm back in. We'll lower the chin back down to chest. Inhale, draw the head back up to the top. Take a deep breath again, let it go. All right, next we'll move into our cat and cow. So rounding through the back, you can keep the hands grounded at first. We exhale, and then inhale, bringing it into the front. We can open up through the chest, look up towards the ceiling. Nice. Exhale, we can even incorporate the arms into it. Exhale, round. Inhale, bringing it in, opening up. Do a few more times here. It's a great way to start the morning. A little seated cat and cow. You can be doing this on a chair, on a bolster. Might even be doing it at the breakfast table, right? We're just waiting on that turkey sandwich. And then that turkey omelet. And some toast. Good, we'll do a couple more. Nice and easy. Exhale, out to the front. Inhale, bringing it in. One more time. Very good. And now come back to neutral. Maybe perhaps feeling a little loose. We're going to switch our feet, but first taking them out to the front. Get to shake them out. Shake out the legs. And keep in mind which foot we had on the inside. And maybe here bringing a little warm to our legs. We'll bring the opposite foot on the inside. All right. And then we'll start to get into the hips, drawing a few circles, perhaps starting small and then making them a little bigger as we go. Getting into the hip socket a little. And then we'll reverse. We'll come back to that comfortable neutral, and we'll do a few little twists. So inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, easy twist to the left. We look over the shoulder. Coming back through center, inhale. And to the right, exhale. Again, coming back through center, inhale. To the left, exhale. Back through center, inhale. And to the right, exhale. Perfect. Come back to neutral. And this time when we go to the left, we'll hold it here for a couple of breaths. Notice that with each exhale, the navel's drawing in a little closer. Nice. Now make your way back to neutral, and we'll finish it up. The twists here on the other side. Good. After about 2 or 3 breaths, we'll come back to neutral, and then we'll drop the arms back down. Ooh, a little flowy. Let's warm up a little bit through the arms. You feel as the arms warm up and extend, creating space along the fingertips and the arms, sending back. And then we'll reverse. Around the holiday seasons, it's especially important to keep in check with how we feel energy-wise in our bodies. We tend to be very outgoing and letting it, outsourcing it, our energy. We have to take time to reset and bring in good, loving energy as well. And sometimes that's a little moment by ourselves to where we just watch some crazy yoga teacher's video. But yeah. All right, we'll next be moving to all fours on the mat. So when you're ready, we'll go ahead and find all fours. Now, a lot of times here, we'll come here and be twisted out and locked through the elbow. So we want to soften. So there's a micro bend here at the elbow. And we will have shoulders over elbows over wrists, hips over the knees. Knees are hip width distance apart. All right? And we try to shift as much of the weight off of the base of our wrist. So if you have a lot of weight here, you want to shift it towards the fingertips. Okay, so press your fingers into the mat. Now we're all set and ready to move through a few cat and cow poses. So on the exhales, we'll round through the back, tucking that tailbone under. And on the inhale, we can arch. Good, do it a few more times. Nice and gentle practice here where we start to open up through the front body with the option to bring the toes under for your cow and release the tops of the feet for cat. 2 more, moving with the breath. And we'll make our way back to neutral. Tops of the feet or toes under, up to you. And we'll move the hips a little side to side. Perhaps even doing a few big circles parallel to the mat. Let's see what feels good for you here. At any point, you may shake off the wrists, readjust. All right, and now we're going to lengthen through the back of the knees. So you may have to move on your mat so you can extend the leg back. So taking that right foot back, we lengthen. Staying connected with the breath. All right, so strong through the arms, engaged through the chest. You can stay here, opening up through the back of the knee, or we can pick up that right leg. Nice, now we're going to warm up through the core a few times here on the exhale, bringing that knee in, extend it back, bringing it in on the exhale, extending it back. Good, we have 3 more. As always, some of these little flows that we like to add to the pose are always optional. You can always stay with that option 1, just lengthening through the knee. And then once you finish a little, or you can finish this little flow of 5 and stay here for a moment. And then picking up the right leg, we'll lengthen the left arm out to the front. Now that pinky swoops down, right, we're going to shake hands, and we draw the shoulder in slightly, right? So if you feel like the arm's fully extended out and your biceps are touching your ears, you want to keep that shoulder broad and shoulder blade going back. We're looking down to the mat, so we're long through the back of the neck. And now dropping the left hand down, we'll take the right foot over to the left side. Look over the left shoulder. Again, connect with the breath. Good, and now make your way back to center. And we'll pivot here. That bottom leg's going to pivot back. Right foot's going to ground. We'll open that right arm up to the top. Nice. So as we lengthen here, and notice the shoulders are stacked. We can even take that arm back for a little chest opener. And then on the exhale, we can weave, bring that arm under, and open it back up. Good, we have 2 more. Stay strong on that left shoulder so it stays nice and protected. Once you finish your 3rd one, stay with the chest open and then drop that right arm overhead. And we focus on that right hand reaching out. So rather than folding over, we focus on it reaching out. Nice and long here. Here for 3, 2, 1, and then we'll circle it down. Walk the hands over to the front. And now we're gonna inner thigh stretch. You can stay here, or if you like, I prefer this. I like to move back and forth a little bit. So I'm using that upper leg bone to work into that hip socket. Just waking it up. We're being gentle, nice and easy this morning. Good. You can stay here, find a little stillness. Make sure this knee is okay, so make any adjustments you need to. The beauty about yoga is there's no pushing through pain. We have to just simply find that good sensation, work through the little tough spots and tightness that we encounter, but we come into it with a very loving, gentle way. Right, so you can stay there. You can even lower down to your forearms for 2 more breaths. And now coming back up, we'll move back to all 4s. So making our way back. All right, can you even bring knees together, move the hips and easy side to side, and then make your way back to all 4s. All right, we ready for the other side? Like, no, Daniel, we need a little wrist break. Okay. Let's go ahead and take that right hand out to the front. Drop it down, little wrist stretch, and then turning it out. Very good. We'll do the other side. Good, we can release. All right, make our way back to all 4s. And let's go ahead and lengthen that opposite knee back. Good, so notice here we're focusing on lengthening through the heel, right? So the heel is going back. Again, you have the option to stay here for a few breaths, or you can pick up that left leg, looking down towards the mat, making sure that right knee is comfortable. You can even shift the weight off of the knee into the shin bone. See if that's a little more comfortable. Left toes draw up towards the shin bone, and on the exhale, bringing it in, extending it back. Gosh, I hope I counted how many times I did on that other side. I think we did 5. Yeah. I guess we'll have to rewind the video and see. Good. Once we do 5 on this side, again, want to stay within the center line. We extend the left leg back, and you can, if you stayed here, that's okay. And now we're taking it over to the right side, and even adjusting our hands a little bit here. We look over that right shoulder. See if you can see the right toes. The left toes. The right toes would be difficult. Oh, there they are. I cheated. Whew, breathe, breathe. Very good, and then now we'll bring the left toes down, And notice here that that right foot is going to pivot and will open up into this big side body stretch. Now that left arm is going back, right? And so I don't have my back to the video. I'm just gonna turn for you. All right, this is going back. And now we come back, stacked with our shoulders. We have the option now to drop that left arm overhead. Good, and then with it extended out, we're going to do 3 little side body curls here. Opening up, exhale down. Opening up, exhale down. Got it, make your way back. Drop that arm overhead nice and long. And then we'll circle that arm down. We have the option now to come over to the front. So we'll line up, and you can stay with the hip over the knee and just focus on inner thigh stretch, or you can walk the foot away a little bit and be more of like a midline, where you're getting a little bit of a stretch in that supporting leg as well. So you can stay here, you can move the hips, a gentle back and forth. Again, finding the breath. And those of you that have a little more flexibility or would like a little more sensation, you can also have the option to move down. Good, and then pressing back up to the top, we will make our way back to all fours. So turning it out, all fours. That's great. So from all fours this time, we'll come up to high kneeling, so walk the hands back. And then we have the option here to bring our hands to our hips, right? Thumbs right above that hip bone, and then a little gentle press forward. You can look up towards the ceiling, elbows draw back together. Exhale down. Have the option to bring toes under, sit back, a little stretch here for the bottoms of our feet. That's great. And now we'll make our way up to standing. So nice and gentle, one foot and then the other. A little forward fold. Gentle here on the back of the knees. Maybe bend and straighten a couple of times. Can come into a halfway lift and walk them out, bending one knee at a time. And now bending both knees and moving to our chair pose. And it is Friday morning, but maybe we can dance a little bit in chair pose. And now coming all the way up, hands together down to heart center. And we'll turn long ways on our mat, so we can warm up through the legs a little more this morning. So turning our feet out about 45 degrees, we can start with our big 5-pointed star. I know some of you know where this is going, and you've got it. We're going into our sunflowers first. Inhale, extend. Exhale, coming down. Also known as goddess pose. Feet are out 45 degrees, we adjust. We want to keep the knees behind the toes, right? So if I turn out for you, so notice here, we avoid the knee passing that big toe, right? So stay here. Good. All right, just 25 more. No, maybe 5. If moving is too much this morning, then we can find the stillness in goddess pose. And even allow the arms, elbows to draw in a little more, and you stretch through tops of the shoulders. Go ahead and dust the shoulders off. And then coming back up to the top, we'll change it into our moonflowers, where we bend the knees and then hug the arms to chest. Exhale. Inhale, drawing back up to the top. Exhale, floating it down. And drawing back up to the top. Good. We have 3 more. Good. Once we move through our last one, meet back at the top. Now bending the right knee, we draw 2 big circles around to the right. And reverse. Good. Arms go back. We release. Woo, shake it out. We can walk or hop the feet back to the center, walking it out. Good, so time to get in the little sun salutations, right? So shake it out here, readjust, stretch through your feet. If you need to, stretch the toes, tops of your feet. Again, being gentle, right? Maybe tuning into your balance. We can pick up one foot, then the other. Good. If you start to feel really serious, let it go a little bit. It is important to take our practice seriously, but not to the point where it collapses our energy and our feelings here, right? So staying connected, nice and strong through the core, right? So navel draws in, especially if you're on camera. And then we'll stay nice and tall at the top of our mats. I'm going to show you the profile view so you get to see a little different perspective on alignment for sun salutations. We'll start with our mountain pose, connecting with the breath. Kneecaps draw up towards the thighs, but there's a micro bend here in the knee. We're standing nice and strong. On the next inhale, we'll draw the arms up. We'll reach and lengthen, taking it back. We can look up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Looking down to the mat. On the exhale, bending the knees, hands come to the mat. We'll step back, right foot and left foot, push up plank. You can lower the knees down to a modified plank, or floating all the way from your plank into your cobra. Now, baby cobra, also a good option. And then peeling off of the mat, we'll move into our down dog, floating the hips up, sinking the chest down towards the toes, walk it out, bending one knee at a time if that feels good. And then we'll make our way back up to a forward fold. You have 2 options here. One, you can lower the knees down, step 1 foot up at a time. Or 2, you can go right from that down dog into this forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, drawing up to the top, and on the exhale, hands down to heart center. Nice. We're going to do the other side, but if we need to loosen up through the back a little bit, we'll do a little Daniel's dance. I really am honored when my students use that name for this pose. And as much as I like to say I came up with it, I did not. It's been being passed down for thousands of years through Chinese yoga, known as knocking on heaven's gates. Our arms are loose, and they're gently tapping our kidneys, which are little meridian. Very important meridians here in Chinese yoga. But really, we know kidneys are more important for the bodies than we know. We're scratching the surface though on how important they are. Anyway, so coming back to our mountain pose, beautiful, standing nice and tall. On the next inhale, we can draw arms up again. On the exhale, soften and fold, leading with the heart center coming down. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, bending our knees, hands coming down to the mat. We can step back once again to our push-up plank. So nice and strong here at the top. On the exhale, we'll lower down. Now notice here that we stay with a little space between the shoulders, right? So if we collapse on our way down, what we'd rather do is to press forward to give room for the elbows to bend and then come down. So up into our cobra, baby cobra or full cobra, soften through the back, and on the exhale, down dog. Good, we have some people doing some fall work outside today. It is that time of the year. There are a lot of leaves to blow around and clean up, and that's okay. Most of the time, anytime we're doing yoga, there's gonna be some kind of distraction that comes around, whether it's a pet or a child or a neighbor, aspiring landscaper. Well, we just flow with it. That's the challenge here in life. So for our down dog, this time we'll be walking our feet up towards our hands, but you have the same option of lowering to all fours and then shifting your way back up. Now, halfway lift, shoulders away from the ears, chair pose. Good. And the arms can come up. They can also go out to the front. You can also do prayer hands. If you can't dance in chair pose, you can't dance. So dance a little and be happy and grateful that we have this time to practice a little yoga. Inhale, come back up to the top. Exhale, hands back down to heart center. Good, we release, shake it out. The next set, we will do little warriors with our sun salutation. Very vanilla practice today. Nothing wrong with vanilla, right? You can put all kinds of flavors on it and make it however you want. Actually, vanilla is the preferred ice cream in the world. Yeah, you can look up the statistics. Amazing, but there are more vanilla people out there than you think. I'm not dissing on vanilla people. I am a strawberry ice cream person though. And if you got strawberry cheesecake ice cream, man. Anyways, we come back to the top. Next inhale, float the arms up, we'll reach. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, bending our knees, fingertips to the mat. You can step back, push up plank. Inhale at the top, exhale, coming down through that Chaturanga Dandasana, up into our cobra. Exhale into our down dog. Good, you can walk your dog if that feels good. Walking it out, sinking the chest towards the toes. All right, this time we'll be drawing that left foot up between our hands. Easiest way to do a step through is to float that foot up towards the ceiling first. So lifting up the left foot on the exhale, we'll bring that foot up between your hands. Now, if you need a modification, you can always lower to all fours, bring that left foot up, and then draw up into your warrior one. So that back foot turns 45 degrees. And we come up, and we're up. 3 to 5 breaths here in your warrior one. Or if you want just a flowing sequence with inhales and exhales, you come up and then you change, right? So as we incorporate our practice, I'm here for you just as a guide, right? So I'm just hoping to share with you a little sequence you can practice at home. So reaching forward and taking it back. Ooh. We'll bring that left elbow to the left knee, right arm reaches overhead again, across, and then we come back. We'll take it back one more time, and this time we'll move into our triangle pose. So straighten that front knee, stack the hips, so left hip moves under the right hip, reaching out to the front. And now we come up. Good. Can look up or down. Very good. And now bend the front knee, right? So a little bend. We'll circle the arms down, facing up to the top of the mat. We'll step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. A little happy dance in our chair pose, and then come up to the top. Hands together, down to heart center. Again, anytime you feel like you're getting too rigid, shake it off, let it go. Opening back up into our mountain pose. Inhale, drawing up. Exhale, soften and fold. Halfway lift. And bending our knees, fingertips to the mat. Stepping back. Push-up plank. Inhale at the top, looking ahead of the hands. Exhale, pressing down. Little yogi push-up. Come up into your cobra. If you come up to the tops of the feet, we can be in our up dog. And then down dog. Woo. Walking it out. Bending one knee at a time. And we'll do the step through on the other side. So right foot up towards the ceiling. And bringing that foot up between your hands. Right? So notice here I did shift my hips when I had to come up. If you want to make that smoother, you can lift it up higher and bring it up. If the foot's not all the way up, you can bring that right hand behind it, bring it up a little more, adjust the back foot for warrior one, and draw up. Good. Looking out to the front. We're pressing through the knife edge of that back foot, keeping the front knee bent. Hips are facing to the top corner of your mat. And then we'll move into our warrior two, so nice and strong here. We'll reach and then take it back. Right elbow to the right knee, left arm reaching up. Keep the chest open towards the side and towards the ceiling a little bit. And come back. Taking it back one more time. This time we'll straighten that front knee. And again, the stacking of the hips here, we're reaching out and then floating over. Very good. Find your breath. From our triangle pose, we can bend the front knee, circle it down, facing up towards the top of the mat once again. We'll step up into our forward fold, come into our halfway lift, and then bending our knees. Chair pose. On the next inhale, draw up to the top, hands to heart center, and we exhale. Good. We can release. Wonderful. We'll do a little balancing pose before making our way down to the mat. We've been practicing standing pigeon pose, but if that's a little difficult for you, you're just starting out, we're all at different levels, right? I've been doing yoga for more than 10 years, and I still have a long way to go, but I'll start it here, a little tree pose. In a 3-point tree pose, just so we keep our toes grounded and the heel grounded. So just like if you're planting a little baby tree, right, you'd have those stakes that draw it down. Sort of what we're doing here with our legs. If you experienced tree grower, then you can maybe bring it up or even bring it up above the knee. If you do place it close to the knee, you want to be very gentle here, but really We know knees only really like to bend one way, so if you try to bend them sideways, they don't feel very good. So better to plant it onto the calf. So that's if you're doing your tree pose. If you like to move into a standing pigeon pose, I'm going to turn here for you. You're going to make a little shelf with the standing legs. We're standing on the right. Then we're going to place that ankle on top of that little shelf that we make with the knee. And the hips are going to try to rotate out. You want to keep them rotated forward. And you can make little prayer hands. If you need your hands out for balance, you can do that as well. It's up to you. Draw yourself tall and sit. Right? And it's a little practice of drawing yourself a little taller and sitting. Grateful for the little beam nearby. Woo! And we're here for 5 minutes. No. 4. That was a fast minute. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to fly out. Woo! Release. Shake out. Shake it out. Good. Letting it go. All right. We're going to do that other side. Now, again, you can start with your little tree pose here. And you're working on taking as much weight off of that foot as you can. Or you're bringing that foot up onto your calf. You can stay there. Do your little tree pose for the duration while I fool around with this standing pigeon pose. Now, to do the other side, right? I'm gonna make that shelf. Place the ankle there. Bending the standing knee. Keep your weight going back and staying up tall. Ooh. And as you sit into the pose, this knee here opens up over time. I've been working on that for a little while. Ooh. Keep that right shin bone straight and the toes drawing up towards it. Ooh. And then when you're ready to fly out, sometimes we get kicked off the nest or fly off a little quicker. When we're ready to fly out, let it go and release. Shake it out. Good. And then next we're going to make our way down to the mat. So inhale, drawing up. Exhale. We can float it down, bending our knees. We can lower one knee down at a time. And we can find a little hero's pose, right? So, good. Once we make your way down to the mat, we're going to move into staff pose. So, lengthen your feet out. And like I say to you every week, this is my favorite staff meeting of the week. So, we all find our staff pose. You can imagine all my students here today. It's one of my favorite things in my life right now, to be honored to be teaching yoga and sharing the practice and the little bit that I've learned over the years. So taking our hands back, you have the option here to add a little chest opener. It can be on your fingertips, or you can even slide it back. And then with the exhale, we'll come forward and find a little fold. And play with the toes. Good, and then make our way back, and we're going to make our way onto our backs, right? So you can scoot over on your mat. You're lowering down here, bending the knees. You can hug the knees to chest, rock a little side to side. And then grounding our feet close to our hips, we can let the knees move a gentle left and right. You can even look in the opposite direction, but make it nice, slow, and controlled. Now say you were really curious about that standing pigeon and weren't sure how you could get there. You can check that same, this is the reclined pigeon. So it's the same thing we were doing, but just on our backs. Right, so you can see how that feels. You can press that knee out open a little more. You can stay here if you'd like more. You can bring that right foot off of the mat, keep the hip open. And then you can even extend the leg. If you're extending the leg, you have the option to thread the needle where hands come between here in this little spot, and we find our hamstring. Right? We can stay up though. This time requires the neck to move up. Good. Now we'll lower back down. Whatever variation you ended up doing, I am proud of you. So good job. Checking it out. Come back. Nice. We're going to do the other side. So hug that right knee in. Place that right ankle on top of the left knee. Check a little springiness here. Maybe spray some WD-40 right in that joint. And then we can pick up. All right. Oh man, this side's a little tighter. I think there might be some turkey or something there. Whew. Let me stay here. Or you can again have the option to extend, thread the needle. Right, so if that's not as comfortable, find the spot that works for you. Definitely get a sensation on the underside here, top of the right hamstrings, and then grounding it all back down. And you can extend, back. And if you like an easier hip opener variation, you're welcome to do a little reclined butterfly pose. Adjust here for the low back. Or if those of you like to do happy baby, this is a good spot to get a hold of your toes or the outsides of your feet and move into your happy baby. Maybe rocking a little right and left. Another option is peace fingers around the big toes. You can straighten one leg, then the other. All right, so lots of little variations here. We're wrapping up our practice, so do something your body loves, something that helps you ease your breath. And then it's time to get comfy. We're going to find our little comfort here, perhaps putting a little support for our knees. If we do, want to make sure that our feet can touch the ground. And then maybe we are drawing a blanket, or maybe getting a kitty cat to sit on your chest. That's my practice at home. I'll have some kind of pet coming over. We find our breath. And perhaps really the most important part of our practice here is to take a few minutes, at least a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes if you can, and enjoy a little savasana, where we allow the body to relax and at the same time kind of take in all the good stuff that we did for it today. We've prepped and adjusted everything so that we can start off with a great start of the day. It's like putting everything in place before going on a big trip or a big adventure. And perhaps you're watching this while you're on a big trip. You know, you had to pack your bags and maybe there were some delays along the way, and it's okay. You've made it to this spot where you're watching this video and just having a moment where you've made it. It's all good. Things are good in life right now. They're the best they can be. For this moment, it's all that we have. So we soften the brow and the muscles behind our eyes. relax the cheeks and jaw. The muscles around the face are soft and relaxed. And soften through the neck and the upper back. And relax the shoulders and the arms, all the way down to the wrists and hands. So the arms feel heavy and relaxed. We soften the chest, the rib cage sink down to the mid-back. Soften the belly down to the low back, into the hips. Whole upper body is just melting into the mat. Soften the thighs and hamstrings, the kneecaps, shin bones and back of the knees, all the way down to the ankles, feet, through each little toe, so the lower body is soft and relaxed. Feel free to make any little adjustments that you need as the body sinks a little deeper. You can take a deep breath in and let it go. Give yourself as much time as you need here. If you want a little more time, this video's done. You can stay there and relax. Slowly bringing attention to the breath, keeping the eyes closed. We draw a longer, deeper breath in and letting it go. Again, drawing a longer, deeper breath in and letting it go. Allow the breath to return to normal. Now, bringing a little movement back through fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Gently Waking the body again a little more softly. Moving through the arms and legs. Eventually you can roll on one side on your mat. This moment of peace and calm is always here for us. We just have to slow down, make a little time for it, and just to connect. Find ourselves. And remember, when we find ourselves here, that we are blessed, truly blessed. The universe is always conspiring in our favor. Sometimes it's challenging for us to see it. That's why it's important to slow down and connect. Take another moment to deepen your well of compassion and kindness, love and peace. This is the spot where we do get to deepen that well within. So it is a pleasure and honor to be here and to be connected with you. I wish you a lovely rest of your day, rest of your weekend, week, the time coming up. Really staying connected. Wishing you peace, love, and joy.